Hi everyone, welcome to a quick guide for getting maximum marks in your financial reporting exam. We are going to discuss a few short tips which are going to help you grab maximum marks in your exam. So first thing is that whatever your examiner has told in advance, it should not come as a surprise for you in the exam. Your examiner has already told you what the syllabus is, how every topic is going to be tested, what is going to be the structure of questions, what is the mark allocation, how can you get maximum marks. So focus on that in advance and cover the content accordingly. Now coming on to some section-wise tips in this regard. First of all, in section A, you have 15 objective test questions. To solve these, first of all, make sure that you cover the breadth of your syllabus because OTs can come up from any part of your syllabus. Make sure you cover the theory of the standards also. A lot of students just focus on the calculation part, whereas in your OTs, theory is also tested. Remember, there is only 7 types of questions in which possibly OTs can be tested. So make sure you are familiar with the structure in advance. While solving the objective test questions, read the background information very carefully. It's always linked to the actual requirement. And one short tip. Whenever you feel that the background information is very long, read the requirement first. That is going to help you read the requirement in a more focused way and save your time. Still, if you are struggling with any question, do not spend extra time on it and flag it and come back to it later on. The examiner is never going to know you flagged the question and it's not going to impact your answers. Make sure you allocate proper time. Similarly, for section B of the exam, we have OT case questions. So with one case, we have 5 objective test questions available. The logic is the same as section A of the exam of covering the questions. But here also, one major tip is that just skim through the case quickly and read the requirements of the OTs first. That way, when you read the case again, you will have a more focused approach to it. Now overall, your exam gives 1.8 minutes per mark for every question. However, my recommendation is that try to complete your section A and section B within 1.5 hours because normally students spend a little more time on the section C. Now, coming on to the section C of your exam. Here we have constructed response questions. Once again, we know the topics which are going to be tested. So we are going to have either a final accounts question, a consolidation question, an interpretation question, or maybe a small part of statement of cash flows. Or the question can be a mix of any of these. The rule is very simple. First of all, grab the easy marks. Every question has easy marks. Like in your final accounts, some questions would need to be picked up from the trial balance or the draft statements and put into the answer right away. In consolidation also, there might be share capital, share premium, which can be put up straight away, or the line-by-line addition items. So make sure you grab those marks first so that it can give you a mental satisfaction also that you have already earned some marks. Now in your notes or the adjustments that you have to make, there might be some tricks available there. Please do not let anything overwhelm you. You can solve the requirements in whatever sequence you want. The examiner does not penalize you for it. So if you are struggling with any requirement, you can leave it for the end and solve the ones first that you are comfortable with. Again, the aim is to grab the maximum marks first. And once again, coming to the ratios part, a very big mistake by the students is that they just focus on the calculation. My tips over here are make sure you write the formula also so that the examiner knows how you have calculated the ratios, and also please make sure that you comment on the ratios also. Your explanation should be there and it should be relevant to the scenario. As long as it is relevant to the scenario, you're going to get marks for it. And do not forget to write the conclusion of the interpretation question. It has 1 separate mark available for it. So please make sure you cover all the things, and also remember that the examiner wants you to pass. So there is one figure rule also in the exam, which says that even if you have calculated one figure wrong, so based on that, any further calculation that you do, that's going to be considered correct. So let's suppose you had to calculate earnings per share and your profit by chance was not correct. Your EPS calculation is going to be marked on the figure that you have calculated for the profit. So the examiner is there to support you. Be careful, try to have a focused approach. My last 2 tips would be very mindful of the time. Do not overspend time on one question, because ultimately that will make you lose more marks. And lastly, please, no rote learning. Your exam is a conceptual exam. Understand the concepts, focus a lot on practice, and that's going to be your key for success. Best of luck. Thank you.